Yes, guys, and welcome back to TDK Live. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all good. We're back after 3 weeks, I think it is. There's no Alex because he's a slacker, but we've got the main man, the big man, that is AFC James. How are you,
I thought
James?
you called him a slapper. I was like, well.
I
feel naked without the intro.
Yes,
but as everyone knows, it is now TDK Plus, and you will deal with it in the comments. I know people don't like change, and it is different, but we will get used to it. And it's just the professionalism. This is what happens. I know we hate the modern world, but clocks keep ticking and the wheels keep turning, and TDK will continue producing good content for you all.
And the clocks are changing next week. Speaking of clocks.
Damn right. Right.
So we're getting close to summer. And do you know what that means? We're getting closer to the parade. Arsenal. Pablo, it's been years. Yep. It's first time in 3 weeks. Beanie as well. Yep. We're back. New member, Damien, thank you so much. And for you members, we have got a City preview coming out tomorrow. I believe me and George did a rewatch of Man City versus Liverpool at Anfield, because what we felt, James, is the Real Madrid game, we're not really going to learn too much about them because they had a red card quite early doors. West Ham, we're not going to learn too much. Forest, not going to learn too much. I actually thought City played well against Liverpool at Anfield. I thought we'll learn a bit more by watching them at their best.
Interesting to watch that.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Jack as well. Always nice to tune in and not to see Alex. Big up Rohan and James. Well, Alex. Oh God, I thought as well. Alex, yeah, hold that. But yeah.
I tell you what, to start the show, before we get into any of this, because Alex has been brought up, I'm sure we have a schedule for today. But this is very topical because Alex tweeted about an hour or two ago that he believes that Bruno Fernandes should be Premier League Player of the Season.
He tweeted that.
Thoughts? Yeah, he did. Thoughts, Rohan Jivan?
Oh God, he's probably getting cooked.
He's been ratioed tenfold, I can tell you that.
Oh, where is he? Nah, you can't give it to Bruno. You can't.
No.
Oh, did you tweet about it? Was it you or
I did tweet about that Bruno. I said Bruno probably deserves it, but in the context, I absolutely don't think you can give it to a player like Bruno. I think Arsenal winning our first title in 22 years now?
2004, so yeah, 22 years.
And Rice has been the protagonist to us getting there. And he has been unbelievable this season, every single week, producing, I say 7 out of 10, almost 8 out of 10 consistently, week in, week out. And he is the reason we are where we are. And he is the reason why we're challenging on all 4 fronts. And I don't believe you can segregate that. I don't believe you can just say, it's a Premier League award. In that case, we'll give Igor Thiago it. You can't. You have to give context to who's leading the title, because Rice has been a big reason for that, and you have to give huge amounts of context to the fact that he's doing it in all 4 competitions. And so
you have to consider that,
love and respect to Alex. And look, Bruno's been good.
Yeah, he has been. He has been really good.
Rice, Gabriel, Saliba, then Bruno for me.
Don't agree with the order.
I know you don't. I know you don't.
We might talk about it, actually. We might talk about it because I think that's quite an interesting debate. But see, James, this is what I was telling you on Saturday. Me and James met up before the Everton game, and I was saying everybody loves James. Look, double bill of James this week after the Latin appearance. See what I mean? And Ford is also saying hit the likes. Yep, Ford has got a very good thumbnail as well, which we will share in a bit. Just quickly though. This is going to go a little bit left field, right? So, James, right? You watch all the bench cams, right?
I haven't watched this bench cam, by the way. I must say I haven't watched it. You should have prompted me for that.
Okay, right. You see Arteta? What he's working with at the back, right? I said on the pod, it's just there. Like it's just there. Am I right or am I wrong? There's no way nobody has not seen it. It's just there.
Yeah, I think he's carrying something.
Yeah, there we go. See, damn right. There we go. There we go. That's all I
A
needed.
little bit of a subtle dump truck. Is that going to be the title of today's TCP Live? Arteta's dump
It has
truck.
to be said. It has to. You can appreciate it, can't you?
Can
Like
we-
he's yeah.
Can we also talk about your view for the
Yeah.
game against Everton, not of Arteta's dump truck while we're there? Maybe so. I think you were on that side of the pitch.
I was indeed, and it was.
But
sensational.
for those who don't know, Rohan was essentially, I want to say, like 5-10 meters away from where Dalman celebrated.
Yeah,
You were in that corner. So tell people about how that was, please.
You can actually see my head in the behind the scenes footage from the game, so you can see a little glimpse of my head as they're celebrating.
How was it? How was
so
that?
good.
How was that experience?
I did my foot actually because I wanted to stand on the seat because I thought I've got to get involved in this. I can't just stand here like normally. I had to get in there, and I did my foot, but it was okay after a couple of days. But mate.
Did you see something that not many people have seen? Havertz grabbed someone's glasses.
Oh, really?
Just started waving around someone's glasses, and then realized he had them in his hand, and then he went back into the crowd and handed them back over. Unbelievable scenes, as we say to everyone in the chat. We were both there. You said 3-0 before the game. I can't remember if I said specifically to you, but I predicted to my girlfriend 2-0.
Was it 2-0?
Maybe I said 2-1.
No, you said 2-0. You said 2-0.
Maybe I said 2-0. But it was it was an unbelievable game for both of us. I was in the North Bank, and that goal was just limbs. And
but you were there for Leverkusen as well
for the Eze goal. I've been very lucky. I'm not going to the cup final on Sunday. To those who are, have an absolute blast. Enjoy it, because Rohan and I were talking. It's been a long time since Wembley. We have we were reminiscing. The last time Arsenal were at Wembley was a lot easier to get tickets, we should say. It was the Community Shield with Emi Martinez in the penalty shootout.
It wasn't Emi Martinez. It was Ramsdale. It was Ramsdale. Big Rammers. But I don't think
Sorry. Yeah. What year was this?
Are we talking about Community Shield, right? So 23-24.
Oh, I mean, an idiot. I was thinking about.
Final.
No, but I think we won the Community Shield the same season, no?
Yes, we did. But that was there were no fans for the Liverpool one. So when we beat Chelsea in the final, we played Liverpool, but there were no fans.
Were you in a penalty shootout with Ramsdale in goal?
Absolutely. Well, actually, I think De Bruyne skied one and Rodri at the bar as well. I think he did save one though, but no, we were there, and we'll get into that. But in terms of Leverkusen, I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about Leverkusen because it is, still fresh, right? How was it in the ground, and just the vibes? Were you tense going into it?
I was above the Leverkusen fans. European fans make a racket.
Yeah,
like for a large portion of the game. I don't know how good our atmosphere was up until certain points, because all I could hear was Leverkusen. They sing all game. It was a really enjoyable game. I thought we were good. And what I've really liked about us recently is we're taking shots. And Arteta's spoken about this a little bit, about we've got players who can shoot well. So against Everton, we had, I think, about 30 shots, honestly. Mm-hmm. A lot of them were dragged and poor shots, but I think also if you don't have the muscle memory of getting the ball out of your feet and taking those shots, it's not going to be there. Against Leverkusen, we were doing the same thing, and we were making a lot better shots. The difference was their keeper was performing very well, but it did feel like an inevitability that we were going to score at some point. And that goal, my goodness, the first time when I watched it in the stadium, it's hit the net so fast, and then you go and watch the replays, and it seemed to be even faster, because you know how it is at the ground sometimes. You watch something and it almost goes in slow motion. I was watching Eze in slow motion, and it felt like real speed. So then when you start watching the replays, you're like, bloody hell, that's the hardest I've seen an Arsenal player kick the ball in a long, long time. And something that gets lost is the build up to that goal was also quite nice. maybe Hincapié won the header. Rice flicks it down to
Hincapié
Trossard. Trossard forward to Eze. Touch, bang. And we've spoken about it so many times. This kind of football with intent, fewer touches, drive forward. If it doesn't come off, it doesn't come off fine. But that's how you break games of football. And yeah, after that, it was a foregone conclusion, despite Raya's unbelievable save, may I add.
The thing is, when you're at the ground, I don't think you appreciate some of the goals that are scored as much as when you're at home, because you're not blessed with the amount of replays. Like the Eze goal was replayed like 6 or 7 times in the space of like 2 minutes at home. So you see,
obviously in the ground, you get the replay, and people's reaction to that is
like,
so good. Yeah, honestly. And then the Rice goal as well. Don't let that be understated. That was a really, really impressive finish. During a moment that he could have easily shot first time, has some composure about him, and slots it in. And yeah, look, it shouldn't be this way, but those type of goals are what's going to get Rice put in the conversations of the very best players. And we will speak at the end of the season. But if the trajectory continues the way it is, then Rice will be in all sorts of conversations. Let's leave it at that.
100%. I actually do think as well. So I rewatched the game back, and I felt like Leverkusen are really good. Like I was going into the game thinking this will be easy without knowing anything about Leverkusen. And then the first leg I thought, oh wow, these are actually really technical.
They defend really well. They were very compact.
But do you know what it is, mate? For me, I was really impressed with how they played through the pressure. So like when we were pressing, and I felt the difference in the difference between the first leg and the second leg was really subtle. But it made a big difference in terms of the first leg. When we were pressing, we were struggling to be able to pick up the individual assignments. So when Cavani was dropping in, sometimes Gabriel and Saliba weren't willing to go all the way in because of the run that could be made on their blind side. And this is where football is currently at now, where everybody's trying to press more man-to-man. I've been saying this for a year now, and it's becoming prevalent across all teams in the Premier League, right? Everybody presses man. There was a period in which, I feel like the discourse was, teams are scared to play against Arsenal. They're not scared to play against Man City. Teams aren't scared of anybody in the Premier League. No. They'll all try and play against anyone, irrespective of who you are. And I actually think that's the best way to get a result against Arsenal as well, is if you try and fight them and press man-to-man. You then create a game that becomes a lot more loose ball, where it's the ball's in the air, and then it's a very much a lottery of who picks the loose balls consistently. There's so many physical exchanges happening. But what I thought Leverkusen did really well is, again, even though I thought we got our press a lot better in terms of being able to commit more, and I think Eze improved massively in that regard in the second leg, they still were able to play through us at times. And for me, that's just quality. You just have to accept sometimes you're going to be played through. And there was one action from Hincapié in the first half. I don't think he's getting the credit for it. Is they played through us. There was nothing wrong with our press. They just did really well to play around it. And then it got to the box. And then Hincapié makes a really good challenge to come across to deal with very much is going to be a shot on goal in a promising situation. It's those things that really matter. And I thought we did really well there in terms of our box defending. I thought Gabriel and Saliba were excellent in the box with dealing with headed clearances.
What I also like, and I'm starting to see more, is sometimes it's very easy when a team starts playing through your aggressive press to say, hang on a minute, we need to ease off a little bit. What I've noticed more recently, I think I want to say since the Spurs game, is we haven't eased off. We've kept pressing. Now, look, sometimes they will break through your press, and you can't change the way you play. There's no point trying to play reserved, because then you end up halfway house. Keep doing it and trust your defenders, because Gabriel and Saliba are unbelievable one-on-one defenders. And sometimes it looks scruffy, but for the most part, you will win your duels, and you will get, especially in that Spurs game, as I say, the Chelsea game was the one I was thinking of. They cut through us a lot of times, and it looked bad at the time. It made us very nervous. But Alex and I rewatched that, and there were some really, really fine margins that if we were half a yard quicker, we score.
That's all it is.
And you have to make that sacrifice sometimes.
Yeah. No. When I rewatched that Chelsea game back, again, you're thinking, How is Palmer getting all this space in the middle of the park? It's just literally a split second of movement that he makes, movement that we can't track, and that's it. That's and I actually feel Leverkusen, yeah, they did really well at times to still play for us. And actually, I wanted to talk about the manager's comments. The manager for Leverkusen, the former Denmark coach, he said, like, when he was asked about Arsenal in terms of this season, he's like, "There's no surprise to see where Arsenal are at in the league. You know, he's not shocked by it." And I think he's kind of alluding to how sustainable our way of playing is in the league consistently over 38 games. We've been doing it for 3-4 years now as well. But he was saying in the Champions League, and this kind of brings us, we'll talk a bit more about Sunday, but he was saying in terms of the Champions League, in terms of knockout football, he's like, Bayern are strong, Paris Saint-Germain are strong, and these guys in one-off games, he was alluding to how anything can happen. I think this still is where I am at, though, with this Arsenal team in terms of, like, this is why I've always been confident about the league, but knockout football, a shootout, I'm not as confident. I'm never as confident. But this is where a player like Eze, for example, he can dictate the margins there because he's a shooter. You know, like if we look at the Champions League last season against Paris Saint-Germain, we lost 3-1 on aggregate, right? Look at the 3 goals they scored. The Dembele strike is a worldie. The Fabian Ruiz strike is a worldie. And Hakimi scores a really good goal as well. These are just like fantastic strikes.
And we've gotten better since then. Gotten better since then, honestly. What was it? I had a point. I've forgotten my point. What I was going to say was, because we're playing, at least up until the final, because we're playing the second leg at home every time,
yes,
we have that superpower that we can contain games. And we really can control the margins because we don't have to come onto teams. And we bring them back to the Emirates. And I back us against any team at the Emirates. We are so strong at home. So you've seen the formula. Now, look, it's easy to kind of get lulled into a false sense of security and go too defensive. That's not what I want. But you play against the margins. And then when you play at home, you can play into those margins and be more aggressive. So, look, we have exactly the same blueprint against Sporting. If we take a draw away from Sporting, we bring them back to our place. I have every faith that we'll beat them again.
I also think, playing Bodo away from home,
I didn't want to do
minus 500 degrees
on that pitch as well. They have an artificial pitch.
Yeah. We played against them a few years ago in the Europa League.
In the Europa, yeah.
It was the Saka goal. Do you remember who got the assist?
Chat, how am I supposed to answer these things? Describe the goal. Describe the goal.
It's quite scruffy. Just like right hand side, a little bit bobbly. No, it was under Teta. Yeah.
No, I got nothing. I can't remember.
Sambi Lakonga, I believe.
Right.
I think so. I think it is. I hope I'm right, actually. That is literally just off the top of my head. But
sad man.
Yes, sad man.
Chat, find out for us.
I actually think I prefer that Sporting game. And Gyökeres as well. I think Rice was saying post match about how he'll be able to give a few tips as well in terms of how they play. Although I think they've changed their manager again, but they've got Luis
against those farmers for defenders, won't they?
They've got Luis Suarez Mark II. That's the so we'll have to watch out for him. But see, James is another one. There's another one there. Look, let's go, James. See.
Yeah, James Antonov, my boy.
Nice.
Yeah, I know him. He's a friend of mine. So he is biased.
Yeah. So again, on the Leverkusen game, were there any other individuals that really stood out for you from the ground that impressed you?
Well, there's the elephant in the room, the obvious one, William Saliba, who has been purring his Rolls-Royce engine for a while now. I thought he was unbelievable. And teams now, that with the way this man-to-man system works, you can't really, you can't double up on an opponent's centre-back. You can double up on Saka by becoming more compact and squeezing the wide areas. You can't double up on Saliba.
Yeah.
But an opponent pressing him, he just takes these huge strides into midfield. And I think he's always had the capacity, but his intelligence now of knowing kind of where to take that run, of when to time it, is just become better than it's ever been.
Yeah.
So and that has taken us up a level because it's always been the case that teams would let our centre backs have a little bit of time on the ball, Gabriel especially. But you can't really do that now with Saliba. You really can't because he can punish you, and as I say, he often finds himself in some quite high and wide spaces, um, interchanging with Timber, with Saka, and with Eza. And it causes other teams problems. And I won't even get started on his defensive work because he is flawless and
Yeah,
it looks too easy for him at times. But a part of his game that has elevated recently, he's added another string to his bow, which is his, I guess, ball progression, not just passing, but his carrying, which, as I say, in this state of football is so, so valuable for me.
yeah. I actually, and just to build on Nathan's point here, Gabriel has been playing some really nice vertical passes as well too recently, especially against Everton. Against Everton, he was doing that really well. But on Saliba, again, to go back to your point about him, like that Everton game, for example, what we were doing, and we've been seeing it all season, where Saliba becomes a lot wider in build-up, and as we go to the final third. Now, you imagine, right, if a team is defending a little bit more man-to-man, the centre-backs are always going to be ones who are spare, because they're the ones who are, from the opposition's perspective, least likely to cause the damage. You know, it's about trade-offs, and that's why Saliba will have more of the ball when Saka draws a double team, or if Timber takes the winger away from the fullback, that will leave Saliba being free. Equally, it's the same as when we played Sunderland, for example, when Zubimendi scored that goal from the edge of the box. From Sunderland's perspective, it's like, I've covered all the other players. I'm going to leave Zubimendi free because I see that as being less dangerous to us relative to the other players there. And he scores, right? And this is where I think more shots on goal from the edge of the box are becoming more prevalent in the Premier League this season. And you're seeing more goals like that as well. And yeah, I think Saliba's been brilliant this season. And we might as well talk about it, actually.
I was going to say, so while we're here, because Rohan and I have had a disagreement. So, chat, before we state our cases, out of Saliba and Gabriel, as I alluded to earlier, who do you believe is more deserving of player of the season? Maybe you think Rice is top, but who would you have higher between Saliba and Gabriel?
And of course, though, we'll do the Rio Ferdinand. Appreciate both. Yes, before they all say that. But let's talk. Let's talk.
So the reason, because everyone knows my take first, the reason I believe Gabriel, I think Saliba's general level this season has been higher.
Yeah.
But I think Gabriel has been a player of moments, of a few poor moments. He has made a few errors, but his moments in winning games, such as, did he score the first against Newcastle?
Yeah, he scored the winner against Newcastle.
He scored the winner against, Marino scored the first.
Yeah,
he scored the winner against Newcastle. He's come up with some other big goals this season. I'm not going to name them. I'm sure Rohan, Arsenal calculator.
Well, you got like Atletico Madrid. You look at, for example, the assist for Saliba as well against Chelsea at the back against Reece James. I think that was really impressive because that's Reece James as well, by the way.
The height he got on that jump is absurd. Yeah. So he has contributed in an attacking sense, more than just purely those direct goals, because if you consider kind of the knock-on effect of having this 6'5" giant who can fly around the box like that. But also I want to highlight he's made some really, really important last-ditch defensive contributions. Some of these blocks that he's made, I can't remember what game it was. The attacker chipped Raya, and Gabriel ran back on the line and Brian. So these are just like small examples, but these are putting points on the board, direct points on the board. Now, as I say, I think Saliba's general level has been higher throughout the season. I completely agree with that.
No, sorry, I meant to put the wrong one up. This one to come to your point. Assist for Fulham as well for Trossard.
I think Saliba's, but I stand by that. Saliba's general level has been higher, but I think the impact and the way Gabriel has been a protagonist at times, and the way he's put his body on the line, in an imperfect sense, is what takes him slightly higher than Saliba for me. And I think football is an imperfect sport, and you don't necessarily judge it on algorithms and percentages. I think you judge it on those moments in terms of awards like this, and that's why I would have Saliba higher. Pardon me, Gabriel higher. But Rohan is about to state his case as to why not.
Yeah, I think for me, mate, it's like I think Gabriel's actions are louder than Saliba's. You know, like I think when you look at Gabriel's moments, they're a lot more noticeable than a Saliba because of the moments that you said. But I would argue that our build up and how we play through is massively dependent on Saliba. And if you take him out of that team, I don't see this side having the same composure on the ball that allows us to play through these teams who are starting to pressure us a lot more man to man. You know, I think when I look at, for example, that left hand side when we've got Gabriel and Hincapié there together, I really feel we're limited down that side to play through, especially when teams are looking to funnel us down that side. Where Saliba, he's the one who sets the tone at the back the moment Raya initiates the first pass out. And I just think that his consistency this season, I think, has been higher than Gabriel. I actually don't think Gabriel this season, this is Gabriel's best season. I would say Gabriel's best season was 23-24. And I feel like last season he would have eclipsed that, but he picked up the injury. I think last season Gabriel is way better than this season Gabriel, in my opinion. And I think 23-24 Gabriel is way better than this season's Gabriel. I don't think Gabriel has been as good since he came back from his injury, which was Brighton. And I'm saying not as
good.
It
from such a purist perspective.
But I'm saying,
I agree.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think we're not saying he's not been as good. I'm saying he's not been as good to the standards that he's set. So the standard that he's still displaying is at such a strong level. But we're talking about like the top tier now of where I see Gabriel. And I do think he's had a lot of games since the turn of the new year in which I'm looking at him and I'm feeling a little bit anxious, like Wolves, like Sunderland's second half as well.
I think his actions haven't been as clean, but I just think some of the and I got a stat at this earlier. He has had the highest portion of a single team's blocks in the league of any team in the league. And if you specifically, because I got a stat for this a few weeks ago about how every season he blocks more and more shots. If you look out for them, you realize like these shots could be flying in the top corner, and the way he gets in the way makes me emotional, mate.
Do you know what though? That I think that is definitely worth crediting, because equally when I say Gabriel's actions are really loud, I don't think the blocks get the credit that they should do. And
but Saliba, and in the same vein, Saliba's interceptions don't.
Yeah. I mean, they're both class, but I just don't think Gabriel's.
They complement each other so perfectly.
Someone said it before, where they're like not stylistically the same, but like when you look back at the Invincibles season, you had Campbell and Toure. Toure is the Gabriel, Campbell is the Saliba. I like that. I like that.
Just the thing that's absolutely bonkers to me is like if you're to build two Premier League centre backs for this era, a non-negotiable is they need to be big. They need to not be able to get bullied. Both of them are 6'4", can't get bullied. You want one who is probably more rugged and a bruiser and will be more of a threat in the opponent's box. That's Gabriel. You want one who's a little bit more composed, transcends more calmness across the team. That's Saliba. One who's better on the ball. You got one who, and I look at it and I think it's like
It's fire and ice, isn't it?
Two centre backs in a lab.
Yeah,
and the age profiles of, I think Gabriel is 27, 28 now. Saliba's something like 23, 24.
Gabriel's like 28, I think. Yeah.
So we've got at least another 3 or 4 years coming out of them. And then we've got your Marley, Sam, and your Mosquera of this world. And Mosquera, he's not been on his best form recently.
It's a diamond in the rough, isn't it?
The level of that kid at this age is unbelievable. And look, if he comes anywhere near what Saliba's done in those 4 or 5 years that he's been here, then look, we're in an incredible position. And we're blessed. We're blessed to have them both. So why compare them? Whose idea was that?
Who do you like more, though, James? Which one do you like more?
Which one?
I'm joking. No, I won't answer that. Won't question that. No. My main man, 90. Thank you so much for your super chat. Who would you want in the Champions League final? Bayern, PSG, Liverpool, or Real Madrid? I'll take Real Madrid.
First of all, of course, we've got to say that we have teams to beat before.
Absolutely.
Because Sporting,
respect the opposition and all that.
Sporting is no formality, and if we do play Barca, did you watch the Barca Newcastle game?
Yeah, I want to talk a bit about them,
Go on.
actually. And
But before you do, just quickly,
yeah,
yeah, I completely agree. Let's rank them to give
yeah,
him the credit for the generous donation.
from
Top,
best to worst. Yeah,
so yeah, best Real Madrid, of course.
yeah,
They've got
I agree.
no organisation, individuals. Second second Liverpool, surely.
There's something about playing an English team in the Champions League though that makes me feel a bit shaky. I mean, I'm
Yeah, but
feeling
the other
shaky regardless, to be honest, if we get to a Champions League final. But I don't know, man.
I don't
Liverpool have
know who
done
else
well
you.
against us in both games this season, though. I think there's not been anything in it in both games, and they managed to get the rub of the green in the first game. So, yeah. But yeah, I'd go with you. I'd go with Liverpool second because I think we could outshoot Liverpool.
Yeah, this is weird actually because
Yeah.
we beat Bayern 3-1, but Bayern have
I
just beaten Atalanta 10-2.
you see
And
that.
also,
You see that.
with Bayern, they're not going to be tired because they'll walk the league.
Yeah, but you see that Bayern game, we were fantastic, but we can't use that as a way of being confident going into the final because Bayern are. When I came out of that game thinking, man, these two teams are easily the best in the world, like hands down. And Bayern left me this impression for, yeah, they're gonna come again and they're gonna be very difficult. And I'd say they're the most complete alongside us in terms of all around. But PSG.
They're just scary. Their attack is so scary.
I got first sight of that last season there when I went to that. I was so confident we were going to beat them in the semi-final, and I still think
Were you
that we
there?
were superior. Yeah, I was there. It was so. I felt we were superior tactically over the two games, but they've got shooters.
Yeah, funny thing because at the time I felt both games that there was a joke about we going toe to toe. I genuinely believe we did.
We did. We did.
People really hated us saying that, but I thought we played absolutely fine. I thought we just didn't get the rub of the green. They just have better attackers, and that's football. They deserve to win. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think we got served. I don't think we got battered like people said. So I think in reverse order, I think we can agree on that. It's a hard question though.
Do you know what? I feel like I'd rather play Bayern than PSG in the final.
That's what Kane's not that good against Gabriel and Saliba. Let me say that. No, that could bite me in the ass.
Well, if you look at his North London derby goals, Eze's nearly eclipsing him on non-penalty goals.
I know that's mad. That's a crazy.
Isn't it? That's crazy when you think about it.
But on Barcelona, as you say, talk to me. How do you feel about them?
I think that. So I was trying to compare it to PSG from that season, but I think Barcelona are more flawed tactically. But again, they've got shooters. And James, to be honest, last season scarred me. That PSG game, I thought I've always bought into the idea of cup football being about moments and decisive actions between the boxes, right? But I felt even more like I'm giving that even more emphasis now after that experience because I felt so deflated because I felt the team did so well to prepare for that game, to be ready, to understand the demands and to be well equipped to deal with them. And they score 3 bangers and we're out.
Yeah.
And then Donnarumma makes unbelievable save. So
that's what I was going to say. Donnarumma was doing what he did. Also, Newcastle trying to play a high line with Dan Burn. Like, what, guys? What are we doing?
They don't do that in the Premier League.
No.
not to the level that they were doing it at. But
it was so strange because it was. I don't know. I feel like Newcastle just have a good blueprint of playing against Barcelona. Look, it's going to be a bit miserable. You're going to be slogging against it for 90 minutes, but just sit back, win your duels, send Delanga on the break. Why are you trying to play a high line? Barca are good. And Yamal and Rafinha are very good. I think we will play them in the semis. And I think that game at the Nou Camp is going to be very, very difficult. If we can get through that relatively unscathed, I think we will beat them at the Emirates, but going to Nou Camp will be a huge test for this team. And yeah, we will see. I think their confidence will be dictated by what happens over the next few weeks, let's say. This cup final is massive. It's massive beyond just what is the score on the day. It's massive because it sets a precedent for the rest of the season. And after that, the next game we play will be against Bournemouth, right?
Southampton. So we come back.
Sorry, Southampton in the FA Cup. Yep. Then Sporting, is it?
The Sporting, then Bournemouth, and then Sporting.
But then Bournemouth. And for those that don't know, we play Bournemouth before City play Chelsea.
Yeah.
If we beat Bournemouth and City drop points against Chelsea, the league can be as good as done. So that's the position we're in. If we really, really need the momentum from this Carabao final. And I'm excited because as I said to you earlier, I'm a little bit confident with one caveat.
Oh, okay, we'll get into that. But the only let's get you all excited, right? So Premier League, yeah. All if buts and maybes, but if we beat Bournemouth and let's say they draw to Chelsea, then we beat them at the Etihad. And then if we beat Newcastle, we win the league against Newcastle, mathematically.
Crazy.
So it could be done in 3 games. It could.
Has the Crystal Palace game been rescheduled?
No, that might get rescheduled midweek between.
Because if it does, if it gets rescheduled before we play City at the Etihad, and they lost, then we would have the opportunity to win the league at the Etihad. I believe if everything else.
Head. Yeah, I need that.
That would be funny. That would be fun. And as you know, I'd be in Manchester. So.
One game at a time. Yeah, I've been thinking about these. I literally got the Premier League table up today at work, and I was just looking at the points for. Well, if we do this and they do that, and if we do this, they do that, we could win the league at against Newcastle. But no, we'll get into it.
We're old, Rohan, and we've never seen a title win, so.
yeah. Aditya Sinha, thank you so much for your super chat. Are you guys scared about the rest of the matches? I feel like I have a bit of PTSD, but I don't know whether to have belief. Yeah, I mean, I am nervous because we can do something really special here. It gives me goosebumps thinking about it. There's this feeling where we actually could do something so special. We are in a position where I'd never felt Arsenal would be in. I was a broken man before Arteta came. I thought, I don't know where this club is going. I was worried about the trajectory. And here we are in all 4 competitions.
We were there. We were both there against Brighton, weren't we? The 3-0 loss.
Game was so depressing. That game.
And Rohan and I just sat, in no word of a lie, just sat after the final whistle for 10 minutes.
At least 10 minutes. Just sat there. Yeah, didn't move. People were walking past us. And there was one guy, though. I think he was like 50 or 60 odd, and he just tapped me on the shoulder and was like, "It'll be all right. Don't worry. Head up."
He knew.
He knew. The oldies, yeah, they know the stuff. They know what's going to happen. But yeah, no, I'm a little bit cautious, but the last 2 performances have given me a lot of belief because I feel like we've started to see the version of Arsenal under Arteta that we've become accustomed to. I feel since the turn of the new year, what we've seen is an Arsenal team that I do think the pressure has got to them. Do you buy into that as well? Because I actually think in some of the actions, some of the decision making and build up, it's our bread and butter, but we're not executing. And I don't point that at the manager. I point that at the players not being able to execute in those moments when you should be able to execute. So,
yeah, I think what's interesting is what some people call fatigue is actually just kind of players playing too stressed, and these actions are not coming off, not just because of fatigue, because some of these guys aren't. Like Martinelli, for example, hasn't had ridiculous amounts of minutes this season. They're just really nervous, so they're making a poor decision, and the execution is not always there.
Yeah, no. I genuinely think. And the other thing with me, James, so I was didn't manage to talk about this on the pod. So we go to games, right, and we see it, and I maintain that the fans are always behind the players, but when it gets really anxious and we're building out from the back and we're trying to seek an advantage, it's a very nerdy way, but we're trying to find a way out, right? And the fans are constantly groaning. I hate that so much because
Arteta
he
did that this season. Did you see it?
I saw it. I thought, damn
it's
right.
always this.
Yeah.
But Arteta did the opposite. He went, calm down. Let us
mate.
find. Do you know, this is a really weird analogy, but I saw this thing, saw this shit clip recently. When you're being chased by a guy with an axe or a guy with a knife, don't run into the door and start jamming it in.
Yeah.
Go to the door, put the key in and open it like you usually do. Don't change the way you're doing it, otherwise it's going to take you longer. In the same way, if you are trying to score against a resolute defense, don't just start spamming stuff. That's not going to help. Keep your processes, do what you're trying to do normally, and do it with more conviction, and you will find the solution. Because that is how to break a defense. You keep going, and eventually they will not pick up their man, or they will make an error because they're also nervous as the defensive team.
Case in point, right? In the build up to the Gyökeres goal, right? If you look at how it starts, and I can remember it because as much as the fans were great against Everton, when we were starting to play it between Raya and Gabriel, there was tension there. There was like, get it long quickly. The quicker the ball goes up, the quicker it comes back, you know. And then it's like, we hit it long, it comes back, we're defending, we have to defend a little bit deeper. And then it's like, oh, you can't win. And I understand that not every fan is going to see it that way. But the reason why we're able to score that goal was because Raya waited, then Gabriel received the ball, and then Mosquera's free. And then Gabriel plays a really good pass over the top. Mosquera's free because Njai, he jumps to Saliba. Dalman has Mikolenko on him, so Mosquera is free there. And then we're out. And then we win the throw-in, and then Mosquera takes the quick throw-in, and the rest is history. Dalman with the ball, the half-space cross towards the back post. You know, it's those things that I just wish, like, I get it. It's nervy. That is at a time which is like the 88th minute. But you got to back them. You have to back them in that moment. It's no good whistling and going, go, get it long. I hate that. And that's the only thing that grinds my gears. I'm there, literally. I was there just saying, leave them, let them play. Just relax in my squeaky voice. It's like, calm down. I wish in those moments I had such an aggressive voice. Like, come on, shut up. Just let them play. And then that's how we scored the goal. Man, I actually can't stand it.
The fans were good as well. Nathan
good.
is right. The fans were. You channel, if you're anxious, you're frustrated, you channel that into making the stadium more hostile and loud. Don't kind of transcend that anxiousness across the pitch. Just sing. If you want to get something out, just sing.
Just sing. Yeah, 100%. And give the referee a lot of stick. That's what you got to do. Put the pressure on. But another super chat from Aditya. Thank you so much. Much love to us. Can't wait to celebrate together. Certainly at the parade. We are going to do that. Can't wait for that. It's happening. It's happening, isn't it, James? Actually, speaking of parade, right? I'm giving you the opportunity to quit the season right now, and I'm giving you a Premier League title.
No.
Good.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. But you can, so you're going to allow the season to unfold, and as opposed to just taking the Premier League right now. If I'm offering it to you,
Rowan,
nothing else.
We are 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League.
Damn right. Good. That's the correct answer.
Thank you. And anyone in the chat who disagrees, go home.
And if you are at home, well, go home even more. That was so bad. Sorry.
This is why they subscribe.
Yeah. Is the parade a tracksuit thing, or are we wearing jeans? Mate, it's going to be like 20 plus degrees. Shorts, non-negotiable. Absolute non-negotiable. Shorts
and no top.
No top.
But I've been called gay already in the chat, so Get in the gym. Get in the gym. Ready for the parade because we're all going to be
I'm
there.
certainly going to be wearing 22-23 kit, 100%. The black one has to be. I'm going to get an Arsenal hat. I'm going to get some Arsenal sunglasses. Yeah, I'm going full out. Full out. Can't wait.
Oh, Rowan, it's going to be trouble. It's going to be trouble in London.
If you've not walked the entire perimeter of London on parade day, have you done a parade? Have you done it really well? That's the real question.
Shall I do the reverse of the Brighton to the Emirates for the parade? Shall I walk to London to raise money?
Oh,
there we go.
We'll right.
Can I offer my caveat for the cup final?
Let's talk about the cup final now. Let's talk about it.
Okay. The one thing that makes me nervous is if we keep up this rotating keepers business. Start your best keeper. Start your best keeper. Look, I've got a background in psychology. I should be all about this. Oh, you got to manage the squad.
Yeah.
Honestly, mate, just for Sunday, I don't care. Just start Raya. I would be so annoyed if we drop points because of something that I felt Raya could have prevented and Kepa's done. He's been fine this season, but yeah, start Raya, please. How about you? And yeah, you can have a shaved head, Rowan.
This never happened. This I'm being peer pressured into this bet that I was never involved in. It didn't happen, and I will not be doing that. But you can catch me on parade day, boys.
Oh, you'd look good with a shaved head. You'd look good.
Maybe. Can you shave your head as well, just to make me feel better if I do it?
I already did the R9 haircut for COVID.
Did you?
If you've never seen that before, it's maybe I'll have to release that for if we win the league.
He's gonna pick Kepa. 99% sure he'll pick Kepa.
But
I'm telling you,
and I get it, but that's what makes me nervous.
Yeah, because I think for me this game it's gonna be margin based again. It always is. This is what worries me because I feel like it's gonna be a game in which if you play 10 times, it's 5 apiece. And that scares me so much because...
Do you want to hear the most insane stat that I heard earlier?
Cool.
We have only conceded 2 shots on target during losing positions. Did you see that?
Saw that. I think it was who was it? I think.
And they were both against City. The only time we have conceded shots on target during a losing position in 49 games this season was against City.
I remember one of them.
They were good against us.
Yeah. Remember one of them was one of them was Haaland on the break, and then Eze hits it off right. So Raya saves it, and Eze hits it off Rice, and it goes over for a
corner. That was horrible.
Yeah,
I was there for that game as well. The Martinelli goal. I've had instinct says no. I think I was I don't know what it's called, the East Stand, the long one.
Yeah. East, well, East or West, one of those. Yeah,
East Stand. I don't think I was in the North, mate.
No. I actually felt I was a bit annoyed that game actually because I felt if we started Eze in the first half, I think we would have won. That's my hot take on that.
He, by the way, has been so much improved recently. It's not just about the goals. He has improved on the ball in terms of decision making, but off the ball massively over the last 5 or 6 weeks. And I loved what Arteta said after the Spurs game about understanding him better and knowing him how to use him, because he wasn't lying. He has used him better, and Eze has responded. And I spoke about this earlier, but it's probably going to be the difference between at one point in the season, Eze probably wouldn't have gone to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Now I'd be shocked if he's not taken based on the form he's in.
Well, if you look at it, so since he spoke about him at Spurs, because if you remember, so he started against Brentford, then he didn't start the game against Wolves after. It was Saka in the 10. And then we played Portsmouth. No, not Portsmouth. We played Wigan as they started then. Then he started against Spurs. Then he started against Chelsea. Then he started against Brighton in the
He's been playing 90s as well.
He's been playing. He's been
trust him right to the end.
Yeah, he's been consistently starting. And I think he's the trump card in the final third, because when we're talking about shooters and players who can dictate it, he's someone who can dictate it. I think if there's somebody I'd want shoot on sight with one opportunity against City, it's him, 100%. And I think they'll start Trafford. No, I don't think. I'm 100% sure Pep starts Trafford on Sunday, because he's always done that.
Do you know, I feel like it's also a pride thing. I think if either of them start their starting goalkeeper, it sacrifices a little bit of pride, because it's like saying, "Oh, we don't think we can beat you in the way we were supposed to, so we've got to kind of resort to being a bit sneaky and going to our starting keeper." When I think they both see it in the same way as, we'll start the backup keeper, even though that does make me a bit nervous. Kepa's been fine this season. I don't think Kepa's done anything particularly wrong this season. But I think Raya's top 3 keepers in the world. And it just feels like, look, if we're talking about an outfield player, you wouldn't start Mosquera instead of Saliba, because he's just your cup centre-back.
Exactly. I mean, for me, it's about controlling the controllables. That is something you can control, the goalkeeper. If for me, where do I feel like we could lose this game? Corners, for example. Kepa's never been someone who's been dominant from corners, and we saw that against Chelsea. Even some of the situations they didn't score from, he was slapping at them. But that's been Kepa throughout his career. He's never been physically commanding in those scenarios. He's still a very good goalkeeper, but I just feel like Kepa could lose us this game. Whereas I don't think Raya would. Touch wood if he does start. But that's the feeling I get. We'll get into the lineup actually, but let's do the thumbnail first, because people are asking, and Forda, as always, cooks a delightful meal. And again, he has.
Oh my god!
I mean,
good grief!
He's
where is Rohan? Is it still a thing?
Well, firstly, the theme, the Fantastic Four. Forda's telling me quadruple's still on, right? Fantastic Four.
Okay.
It's a long time ago since I watched the Fantastic Four. I think that's the Thing, isn't it? Is he called the Thing? The Thing. And then Erdegaard's the... No, that's not Erdegaard. That's Gyökeres is the Human Torch.
Yep.
I don't know who Mikel is. Is he
Mr. Fantastic?
Of course. Of course. And then, God knows who Erdegaard is.
I was going to say like Elastigo, but I think I'm getting it mixed up.
That's Incredibles. Yeah, that's Incredibles.
Yeah. But I think it's along the same vibes. Chat, help us out. What's she called?
Someone.
Mrs. Fantastic. Invisigo.
I'm sure. Was it that? I don't think it was.
Is it that? Someone's waffling.
I think someone's waffling. But the hidden Rohan, I do not know where it is.
Invisible Woman.
Woman.
Invisigo. There you go.
Is that... I can't see the hidden
By the way, can I say, when I've been on this,
Yeah.
Which has been a few times now, there has never been a hidden Rohan, or we've never been able to find it. So I feel
Really?
like every time you get me on, it's just some sort of like...
I feel like it might be on the trophy. No, it's not. Chat.
Are you in the file?
Let us know.
How are they going to know?
They might be able to see it. Well, my eyes are absolutely rubbish, so I'm never going to be able to see it. But we'll give it. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10.
Sorry, that.
Hold on.
That Victor Gyökeres makes me deeply uncomfortable.
It does, doesn't it?
It's just like feminine.
He's ungelled. There's no gel in his hair.
I think it's more than that, but yes. Where is Rohan? Has someone found
Someone's saying in Arteta's heart. I mean, his heart's there.
I think it's a joke.
Oh, that's quite sweet. That.
Yeah.
I do love Arteta. Apparently, I'm on his ass. Fantastic.
We've been on his ass all show.
Listen, the chat, the people in the Discord as well. They knew what I was referring. They knew from the bench cams. You could just see it right there, just there. Let's not talk about that anymore. Let's go into the lineup.
Okay.
Right. So, James, do you remember last time we were doing lineups? We were doing numbers. We ain't doing numbers this time. So if anybody's talking about the numbers, we are not.
We got cooked for that, didn't we?
Yes.
I forgot about that.
So this is going to be our lineup, right? Can you see that?
No, it's gone. It was there. It's gone now.
Oh, silly me. There we go. Right. Here we go. I'll get to the super chat as well. Thank you so much. So, Raya has to be, yeah, for us.
So please capitalize the R.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, I just think it's you control the controllables. And I feel at ease with Raya there. That's
And
not
if
to say
Kepa gets upset and wants to leave, he can
you can leave.
He's our second goalkeeper. How he can leave? Like, this is quite important beyond.
Listen, I want this trophy. I want this trophy. So I'm sorry, I'm being ruthless. So
it sets a marker for the game at the Etihad too. If they beat us here, then the game at the Etihad is going to be. They've got the psychological edge already.
Do you think then that there is something psychologically there then with this game? So if we'd lost it, do you think that could derail us? Because I've not seen
I don't think it would derail us. I just think specifically for the game at the Etihad, whoever wins, I think if we beat them, then I think we go to the Etihad with the thought that we can win. I think if we lose, we'll go to the Etihad hoping for a draw. Yeah. I think that's the difference.
I feel like if we win, we can kill their season very quickly. I think we'll have the momentum to kill their season.
Yeah.
If they win, it's very much like, listen, we're a wounded animal, but we're still here. And we're going to keep going.
The international break comes at a good time as well. Because...
I don't know, because if we lose, we've got to sit on this result for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but we can get over it.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can argue either way. Right back, assuming that Timber is injured. Because we'd both start Timber, right?
Yeah. I'd go White.
Yeah, I think so. I think it makes sense. I quite like Mosquera as a lockdown fullback, but White is just more of a fullback. I think he's a better right back at the moment. Start the better right back. I agree.
I think Mikel started White to get him ready for this in the event Timber is not ready.
Yeah.
That's my feeling.
Yeah, that makes sense. And he took him off. Well, I suppose he took him off probably for fitness reasons, but
could be either, right?
Yeah.
So,
fill in the centre backs. Don't think we're gonna have much of a debate about that. Again, anyone
I'd actually start Hincapié right centre back.
Anyone in the chat who doesn't want Saliba or Gabriel, make yourself known, and the door is that way.
I don't know about you, but I'd start Hincapié right centre back because he's going to give us the build-up fluidity.
I quite enjoyed his right centre back cameo, actually.
Yeah, he was good against Brighton, wasn't it?
The Italian stallion for me.
Yes. Now we're talking. Chat, let us know if you disagree and give us your case if you disagree with any of these.
And I think this is why Arteta's done it this way around. Playing Calafiori last weekend, Hincapié, and then back to Calafiori, which is foreshadowing to the centre forward, but we'll get to it.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I like the idea of Hincapié coming to close the game as well.
When we're,
I think you said it. I think you, absolutely. I think you said it actually, backs against the wall, Hincapié. Was it you talking about?
I don't know if I can take credit for this, but yes, he backs against the wall, Hincapié. Any Hincapié I love, but backs against the wall, Hincapié is a dog.
He's been moving me after I was being quite harsh with him earlier on, but we will not talk about that.
He's no Kivior.
He's. I think we are in agreement here.
Yep.
And I think we'll be in agreement here as well.
No, but you've done something that I'm not happy with. We don't do that now. Put the right formation.
Fine. Sorry, Tactico. Got a Tactico here, ladies and gentlemen.
You can't, no, because as a right centre mid is exactly what was the problem for half of the season. Is he was playing right centre mid and he doesn't.
You're
play
getting
that.
extremely technical here.
Put him in the 10.
Fine.
If Ødegaard was fully fit, who would you start in 10?
Eze.
Agree.
Because I think a few months ago I would have said Ødegaard, but I think with Eze and with cup football, knockout football, I think his influence could be bigger where we need it, in the boxes, just outside the box and whatnot. So,
Do you know?
I mean, there's a world where both of them can coexist as well, right? You can have Eze on the left, Ødegaard there as well. So,
with Havertz starting, my little prediction is we might score from a long ball to Havertz, who doesn't necessarily win the header, but contests the header. The ball drops to Eze, who takes on a man and bangs it.
Do you remember in the Community Shield where we got the first taste of Havertz centre forward? Chat, the vitamins in my body when Ramsdale went long and Havertz, I think it was John Stones. He was like, "Yeah, I've pinned you." Test, holds it down, lays it to Rice.
That was skinny Havertz as well. That was before he put on the pounds.
That was skinny Havertz, and then we released Saka on the right wing. I thought, yeah, I've arrived. We've arrived, boys. We've arrived. That day was so good.
I'm telling you, the difference that will make being able to go long to Havertz. Because I think.
So you have Havertz, right? You'd have Havertz.
I would. And this isn't to discredit Gyökeres, because I think. If you asked me this a month ago, I'd have been uncomfortable starting Gyökeres. Now I wouldn't be uncomfortable starting him, but I just think the way I'd like to play this game will be for Havertz. He's not been unbelievable since he's been back from his injury, but I just think that is the solution.
What about your thoughts on this from Nasir? Havertz Gyökeres pairing. I'm not particularly keen on that from the get-go, because I think it limits us to playing one specific way, in which we have to go a little bit more direct. When you have someone like Havertz there and Eze, you can go both long and short. And I feel like we're a lot more restricted if you go with a pairing of a Havertz or Gyökeres instead of someone like a Havertz or Eze. I think we got a glimpse of what Havertz and Eze, alongside some of the others that we're going to pick, can do together.
Eze has been so good in the 10 recently. Why change that?
See, now Havertz has evolved into Hulkvertz. Yeah. Do you think Arteta? Okay, we're going to do this. Let's go through our lineup. Then we're going to do what we thought Arteta will do. I think that'll be interesting. But I'm guessing Saka.
Not Dalman? Yeah, Saka. Of course. On the topic of Dalman, very, very quickly, I quite liked that Arteta didn't bring him on from the bench. Madueke didn't come on either. So, look, it wasn't a guarantee that he would have come on. But I just feel like calming the noise around Dalman was quite helpful. And he could have been giddy and just brought him on for the sake of bringing him on and trying to play on that momentum. But there's no need. Unless we need him for now, don't rush him.
I also liked, so it might not have been noticed, but there was a little period in which Everton pinned us for like a minute after we'd scored. And what we did is everybody obviously was defending together in a unit, but we left Dalman on the halfway line. I like that because it removes him from having any responsibility of a potential bad action occurring in defensive areas. I think that is a really subtle way of protecting him, where you stay on the halfway line, we'll hit it to you if we're able to win it back, and then you do your thing. And then we can all come together as a team. Whereas if that was someone like a Trossard who'd come on, Trossard would have been defending deeper to manage that situation. It's those little things I think Arteta's getting right. And I liked his response to one of the journalists who asked him post Everton, where it was like, we'll be able to see more of Dalman. He's like, calmer. And that's the way it should be. He should be protected.
And by the way, that journalist, it was so ridiculous. The guy, Arteta said, please, no more questions about Dalman. And he went, let me finish. And Arteta...
Don't get me started on some of these journos, because
one of the guys told him no, and he just kept saying it. I was like, mate, I know that was your planned question, but shut up.
Mate. Some of these journos, right? I don't get it. They're like, Mikhail, are you very happy to win the game today? No, mate. Nah, I'm not. That's what I would say. No, I wouldn't. That'd come across really rude. But yeah, there are some good ones though.
This is what I said.
Yeah.
Give me the best Arsenal journalist.
It's the big man, Art. Has to be.
For those who know, Art Deroche, absolute legend, always asks beautifully eloquent questions, does his research, and you can tell Arteta appreciates him. So shout out Art.
And by the way, such a sound guy. He is.
Yep.
I think we met him, didn't we, on final day against Wolves?
Yes.
I think it was 22-23.
Yeah, Xhaka Brace.
Yes, Xhaka Brace.
Also, I think he's a lot younger than. Anyway, this is off topic, but I think he's a lot younger than I realized. It's so softly spoken as well, bless him.
Yeah.
Right,
what a guy.
left wing.
Yeah, that's what I'd do.
Who's the runner in behind them?
Havertz can run in behind, right? Rice can break through in behind.
Havertz is the backboard.
Yeah, but you can also go completely direct over the top, not just as the backboard. I think we're overthinking it with the runner thing. Personally, I genuinely do. I want Trossard in this game. I need shooters. Not saying Martinelli isn't, but I feel
Bring Martinelli off the bench. All right, fine.
Yeah. And I also think Trossard and Calafiori together. I actually feel we will have more possession as well in this game.
Yeah.
So
and someone pointed out earlier, they don't have Gehi, by the way, which is a nice little bonus.
Yeah, because I think that's more important that we realise, because one of the things I've been thinking about, James, and it's also why this season you've seen, there's a lot of reasons why Rice has been moving predominantly towards left centre-back, wide, in very much West Ham-esque type in a lot of games. And it depends on what the opposition is doing. But if you imagine, right, everybody's teams are looking to pressure early, going man-to-man, and they're trying to funnel us towards the left-hand side. Having a right footer on the left can allow you to go back and then swing the momentum towards the right-hand side. Whereas if you've got someone like a Gabriel playing wide left centre-back, he's then going to funnel the play to the left-hand side as well, really.
Yep.
Rice can go against the grain. So, and that's what Tapsoba was doing for Leverkusen as well. Him playing on the left-hand side, being a right footer, he can play the balls inside. And I think that's one of the big reasons as well why Rice does start to cheat more there.
With the way teams are so good at using the touchline as a way of pressing, it used to be, I think it was Arteta said this early in his career, is that having a left footer at left back, I think he used this to talk about why Mari was important, means that you allow the left back to gain momentum when you pass the ball to him. You don't really play like that anymore. It's not Mari to Tierney. You're passing to Calafiori in an inside space anyway. So there isn't really that same, like, it's still useful, don't get me wrong, when you're trying to pass around the team that's pressing you. But you're right, if you can drop Rice into that, and Rice, I don't know if you've noticed recently, some of his switches have been really good.
Yeah. That's West Ham-like, isn't it? You know, like he was saying that a few years ago when he did that interview with The Athletic, he was like, he'd call it false fullback, drop out there, then receive it, and he can play the diag to Kufal. Kufal would make the run, and he'd latch onto it with a sweet ping from Rice. That guy's so good. We're going to put him in some uncomfortable conversations when we win the big ones. As Jad says, quad. If we do the quad,
the Q word.
I am going to be the most unbearable person. You know what I'm going to do on parade day? We're enjoying ourselves. Just random tweets here and there. Just outrageous takes. Just tweet that one. Yeah,
I need to be careful if I bring my phone to the parade, because there may be a few drinks flying around, and
we're dancing as well, James. We're dancing.
We're dancing until the sun rises in the morning, Rohan.
Absolutely.
And you're all invited, TDK Plus Army and AFC James followers.
Yes. Right. Let's now do quickly, before we kind of wrap it, we'll do a few questions as well. what Mikel would do, because I think we
It's
should.
the same with Kepa, no?
I have a feeling.
Wait, Rohan, what number's Kepa?
You know me, mate. I'm not good with the numbers. Like
I got no idea.
30.
No idea.
Why did you ask?
Just exposes both.
Oh, okay. Well, 50? 13. Ah, yeah, that rings a bell now. That rings a bell.
I was going to say 12, but someone else is definitely 12.
13. I think.
Who's 12?
I think Mikel might go
But
Martinelli, you know.
I'll be vindicated in that case.
Yeah. Do you think he starts Havertz?
Yeah, I think that's why Havertz started against Everton, then Gyökeres midweek, then Havertz. Why else would he start Havertz against Everton? Why would he do it that way?
I also think with Gyökeres coming off the bench as well, not just against tired legs, but there's a good chance this goes to penalties. And if this team could be 11 Gyökereses for that shootout,
Havertz is a good penalty take as well. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say
but
that.
He did miss against United though in the cup last season.
Yes, which I was also there. Miserable time.
And then Xerxes was having his 5 minutes of fame. Absolutely.
Yeah. How did that go, mate? How did that go, Josh?
Yeah.
Martinelli's had some good performances against City as well. I quite enjoyed that near miss he did when he dribbled past half of their team and just put it slightly wide of Ederson's left post. If you know the one, surely you know the one. He
of course. Was it 21-22? It was the game for a lot of people where it was like, oh, Arteta's arrived even though we lost.
We lost 2-1. Saka scored.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was that game.
And Gabriel Jesus got Gabriel sent off.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was annoying.
That was annoying.
I also think Havertz really tires the opponent's centre backs out. So if you've got Havertz for 60, 70, and then Big Yoki.
Big Vic. Don't his goals slap though? His goals. Yeah. I'm doing it all. I'm doing all
I feel so bad for him, by the way. That goal against Everton was so important, but nobody talks about it because Almond eclipsed it.
No. And also, nobody gives him credit for how good he is at the near post on corners. Because you can't move him. He's just there, and you hit him, you're not getting past him. He's there. Bang, gets it away. Proper. He did one against Leverkusen as well. Don't know if you recall. It was like in the second half. Just gets himself there. Good header. Yeah, he's really good at the near post. Big Vic. Big Vic's he's starting to slowly cook. Hitting a bit of form because I actually think his best performance, most complete performance, was against Leverkusen as well.
Wow, he's not playing 90 minutes every 3 days. It does help.
That's the thing as well, because when we talk about, like, I believe that if Havertz was available consistently this season, the league title would have been wrapped up. Not just because I prefer Havertz to Gyökeres, but imagine a Kai Havertz there to take the pressure off of Gyökeres as well and to ease the workload. Because you look at someone like Eze, who's been in and out of the team since he's came, and the reason why he's been in and out of the team, one, because of workload, and two, because of understanding the demands of the game model. And Gyökeres has also had to try and understand the demands, but he's had to play every game a lot. Yep. So,
I think this goes understated, but Eze at the end of the season is like when City used to bring out De Bruyne for the last few months, because he's pretty fresh.
Yeah.
Everyone else has had so much mileage this season. He's pretty fresh, and it shows. So, platform him because he's doing a lot for us.
100%. Chat, get your questions in. First, I'll ask you for. No, actually, no. Let me go to predictions in a bit. Let's just go to this new member from Heitor Santos. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it. And if you didn't catch the start of the stream, we'll be having a City preview out tomorrow for Patreon and YouTube members. So that's with me and George. Going back to that Eze point, Alt the 777 Spring Eze is world class. George has been doing this all season. It's like post January Eze. We are here.
Someone showed the numbers. I think it's Sam Dean put the numbers on Twitter. He gets about I think it's like 0.15 goals and assists. No, it must have been goals. 0.15 goals per 90 from September to February or March every season. And then from March to the end of the season, he gets 0.5 goals a game. It's ridiculous.
That is
like every season, the numbers are so stark. I don't understand why, but March Madness Eze is
March
special.
Madness Eze. Score prediction. I'm just thinking about all the things that could happen on Sunday, just right there, just all the positive stuff.
Thinking.
I think it's going to be a 1-0. We're going through the nil. It's going to be tense.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really, really cagey and a tight game.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to give up much. But I think we'll score either from the Havertz knockdown to Eze, like I said, or from a set piece, because they're not great at set pieces. And then I think we're just going to defend for our lives like animals, and it will bring a tear to my eye. And I will give you a big hug next time I see you.
You see, I wish I could have gone to this game, but those Arsenal fans, they're gonna be buzzing there. We saw it. It was Community Shield. It was buzzing.
By the way,
yeah,
that stadium capacity of 90,000, I think, Wembley.
Yeah, 90, 80 or 90.
Let's say 10,000 are neutral seats. 80,000 seats in the stadium. 40,000 for Arsenal. 40,000 for City. A lot of those City tickets are going to Arsenal fans. So this stadium is going to be so loud for Arsenal. Look, City will be fine, but let me tell you, there will be so many Arsenal fans in the City end. And yeah, the atmosphere, I think, will be one-sided, but we'll see.
I'm getting goosebumps. You see, when they come out and those Arsenal fans are shouting, Arsenal! Oh my God.
We've both got to put on the London accent.
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
And then the first crunching tackle, I can picture it. Do you remember the Etihad? I'm in a bit of a daze here. I remember the Etihad, straight from kickoff, Havertz, bang on Rodri. Do you remember? Just straight away. I think Rodri kind of leans into him, but then Havertz like bang, and then it stops. And I thought, oh my God, this might be the quickest red card of all time.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
And I thought, I love that. I love that.
That sort of thing. In the final.
That sort of thing. I'm going to quickly bring this chat up, and then I'm going to disclose it. But yes, you see, that sort of stuff gets me. Oh, I need Rice on, not Bernardo Silva, because that would be bullying. On Ruben Diaz, one on Ruben Diaz. Just, oh God.
Some of these boys, by the way, because these boys have been playing. Obviously, when you've got 50 games a season, not every game is 100%. We all know that. This game, I think you're going to see some of the guys who are our top players. You'll be like, wow, you've been saving your performances for this. Rice especially. You see it with Rice when he goes, today I want to play. And he just turns the dial up a little bit. And every duel, every interception, every cross is so tidy and so good. Gabriel and Saliba will be the same. Just, I think, man to man, whatever happens, I think we'll be proud of what we
100%.
deliver. I can't envision a scenario where we come out of that and think these boys have let us down. I really can't, because that is what you get from this team nowadays.
100%. I think we'll be very well equipped as to what City do on the night. On the night. Any curveball Pep throws, I think we'll be equipped to challenge and to compete with it. and those players, they're going to give everything. I know.
Do they have any injuries?
They
Sorry to
don't.
interrupt.
The only player I think is Guehi with the suspend being cup tied, but yeah.
I think Doku versus White is going to be a key matchup.
Yeah.
And
if it's White,
if it is White, so
yeah.
Perhaps if we see Mosquera, that it will be with that in mind.
Guardiola's out. Sorry, James. Chat rightly saying, yeah.
Okay, so Kusanov and Diaz likely, which is a decent centre back partnership. I quite rate Kusanov. If Nori does start instead of O'Reilly at left back, I quite fancy Saka against him though. I think that's another key matchup.
That's a key matchup. That entire left-hand channel, I think, I would say City's right-hand side, I think they're going to start Semenyo and they'll start Nunes, right? That's a very physical side without the ball as well. Both Semenyo and Nunes. The danger for them and the opportunity for us is on our strong side, on the right-hand side. But Pep's mixed up a little bit in recent games. So I was looking at this recently, and I don't know what he's going to do. Initially, I felt he was going to do Semenyo, Haaland, and Doku with O'Reilly, Silva, and Rodri. But I feel like he might play... Yeah, but they play really narrow, James. So Semenyo will start right, but he will come inside really narrow.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, right? Is that they either sacrifice midfield solidity and play Cherki or Foden. I don't see a possibility in which Foden starts. Yeah. If they play Cherki centrally, then they sacrifice a lot of midfield stability. So I don't see that happening. But then I also question if they've got O'Reilly, Silva, and Rodri. I don't know. There's just far less creation. So then they're hoping to win the attritional midfield battle.
This is what me and George were talking about. Where if you look at Semenyo, Haaland, and Doku, I mean Semenyo and Haaland, you're looking at them to finish the action, not create it. Doku becomes your chief creator in the final third,
alongside Ait-Nouri. I think they'll try and overload that left-hand side.
Yeah, exactly. So that both is a threat to us, but also an opportunity for us when we have the ball as well. I need this because this team deserves it. This team and Arteta deserves it. And like I said, if we win this, that'll be City out of the Champions League and out of the Carabao Cup just in a week. This is where it always happens, right? You're in all the competitions, and then all it takes is like 1 week, and you're out of a couple, and then you're starting to think, "Oh my God, we might end up with nothing." So we shall see, but we will leave it there. I'm so excited for this. I just wish I was going to go.
I know. I didn't push massively hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard to get tickets. I know. Even Alex hasn't got a ticket right now. I know he is asking around for tickets.
It's kind of one of those ones where like I've not even tried to get a ticket, but I'm annoyed that I've not been handed a ticket. Like, how does that even work? It's like
I just get it fall on my lap.
Yeah. I've not tried. But I've got my high rocks next week, so I need to train this final week.
Well, hopefully your ankle is better for that. Your foot.
Right.
I'm saving myself for the final home game. I needed to. Well, firstly, I needed to get Fulham because if that's the pitch invasion, but also for Burnley,
we can win it against Newcastle as well.
Yeah, but I would desperately love to go to those games, as I'm sure everyone in the chat would. We are fortunate to be able to get to games quite often. I would
100%. But no, let's see what happens. You're gonna be watching it at home?
I'm watching at a friend's house actually. So God willing, because they'll take the piss if Arsenal don't win, because everyone hates Arsenal, and as we like it,
and we're going to be unbearable because we're not losing, we're winning. City can come out in blue moon and all that rubbish. We've got North London forever, and we're going to smack them. Awesome. Right. We'll wrap it up there. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back. Like I said, City preview tomorrow. I think there's a knockabout as well with James B and Alex. And then the IR. I will be doing the IR Me, Alex, and George are all doing the IR.
Wow, what a lineup, boys!
And I literally...
Will Alex, if he gets a ticket,
It's
might
me and
not
George. Me and George. Yeah. Need this one.
Enjoy. Let's win. And thanks for
Keeping it.
Arsenal.
Oh, wait. The outro. Is there an outro?
There's no outro.
There is no
Not for
outro.
TDK Plus, pal.
Let's do that again. Let's do that again.
Bro, it's
Thanks.
live.
Thanks
For
keeping
oh, no.
it.
Arsenal. Arsenal. Arsenal.